Good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to joining our second webinar hosted by the MENA Alliance for Green Schools. It's fantastic to have you joining us today. I'm Sarah Harb. I'll be your moderator for this important discussion. As a sustainability architect and consultant, my core work revolves around carbon footprint analysis and decarbonization strategies across diverse sectors. I'm deeply involved in driving regional sustainability efforts, serving on the board of the Egypt Green Building Council and the advisory committee of the MENA Alliance. My particular passion and the driving force behind my work with Alliance is very simply transforming schools into sustainable hubs that nurture future generations. Today, we'll delve into a crucial topic, designing for comfort and creativity, rethinking outdoor spaces in schools. Why is this vital? As learning environments rapidly evolve, our school grounds hold immense, often untapped potential. They're not just playgrounds, but vital extensions of our classrooms, landscapes where curiosity flourishes, critical thinking is sparkled, and a profound connection to nature takes place. So how do we design these outdoor spaces to provide essential thermal comfort? How to make them catalysts for creativity, not just passive areas? In this session, we'll explore with our precious speakers, of course, how we can reimagine outdoor spaces, how they can enhance thermal comfort, boost student well-being and creativity, strengthen climate resilience, and deepen our nature connection. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to introduce the MENA Alliance for Green Schools. We started this in 2023. Our vision is to empower the next generation in the MENA region to take the lead in climate action by fostering an environmental stewardship among our youth. We focus on advancing climate action through three key pillars: students, teachers, and schools. Our mission, it's very clear, to support educational systems across the MENA region by preparing every learner, educator, and school to be climate ready. We aim to achieve this by building cross-border partnerships that promote learning experiences, campaigns, and hands-on projects. We have three simple yet impactful objectives. We aim to support educational institutions in transitioning to sustainable built environments, to equip students with the knowledge and experiences needed to lead climate action, and finally, to empower teachers to confidently teach about climate change and environmental sustainability. Now that we've set the stage for today's discussion, it's time to hear from our experts who will be guiding us through the various topics. I'm thrilled to introduce our distinguished speakers, each bringing their own wealth of knowledge and experiences in their particular respective field. Starting off with Lana Abu Qalbain. Please welcome Lana, a dynamic force at the intersection of sustainability, health, and the built environment. Lana is a technical engineer and researcher at the Emirates Green Building Council. Lana leads multi-stakeholder initiatives driving decarbonization, reducing embodied carbon, and promoting green building practices. She translates complex technical concepts into actionable change. How does she do this? Through publications, events, training, lots of passion, and a special focus on creating healthier educational spaces. Her unwavering dedication to sustainable education is further exemplified by her role on our advisory committee of the MENA Alliance for Green Schools. And Lana's talents extend beyond engineering. She's a successful children's book author too. She's a dedicated researcher who recently published significant work on thermal comfort of outdoor school spaces. And we're very lucky that she'll be sharing exciting new findings from her latest research with us today. We'll then be joined by Susan Fisher. Susan is a lead educator of the Center of Abundance at the Arbor School in the UAE, where sustainability isn't just taught, it's lived. Susan architects experiences that turn schools into ecosystems of learning. She weaves eco-literacy into every dimension, be it training teachers, transforming green spaces into living classrooms, creating botanical exhibitions, and leading student green teams. Her expertise lies in creating rich, place-based learning experiences that support environmental awareness in real-world contexts. She's renowned for her innovative green curriculum development, and she also integrates experiential learning with global sustainability goals. This leadership she has extends way beyond the classroom. She's a very sought-after speaker, recently featured on a senior educator panel at Cambridge Partnership for Education. And she's the author of a teacher's guide to using the UN SDGs. In a few words, just to sum it up, Susan embodies a dedication to creating truly regenerative educational spaces. We're thrilled to have her insights today. We'll then be joined by Elizabeth. For over 18 years, Elizabeth Ann Kennedy has been at the heart of educational innovation within Qatar's vibrant learning ecosystem, primarily with her involvement with Qatar Foundation. Her journey involves transformative leadership roles as Associate Director of Early Years Education and Assistant Principal at Qatar Academy Doha. Elizabeth is now the Visionary Director of Akademiyati, Qatar's flagship school for progressive education. Under Elizabeth's guidance, Akademiyati's core mission is simply to nurture children into aware, confident, and ethical creators. Elizabeth is a masterful community builder who fundamentally believes in the power of youth and champions through authentic community engagement. Elizabeth spearheaded Qatar Foundation's strategic committee on sustainability and education and continues to shape its direction as their advisor. She also serves as senior eco-schools evaluator for IRSNA, mentoring Qatari schools to achieve prestigious Green Flag certifications. We're incredibly excited to hear Elizabeth share her insights and experiences on outdoor school spaces. Finally, let's welcome Tara Haidar. Tara is a student life coordinator at the International School of Shuwaifat, Lebanon Sabas Network. Since 2017, Tara has been a driving force in creating vibrant student experiences beyond the classroom. She spearheads transformative development across 9 key departments, be it academics, wellness to sports, social responsibility. Tara's got it. And she also expertly liaises with parents to foster an engaged learning community. Tara built and leads the Sabas Student Life Organization, empowering students to raise academic standards, enhance their school, and grow as responsible citizens. She does this through Green Apple Days of Service, annual tree adoption, student awareness campaigns, community cleanups, you name it. We'll wrap up with Khalid. Khalid is Green Leader student member in Lebanon. He's also an electrical engineer, innovator, bridging academia and actionable climate solutions. And he hasn't even graduated yet. He's a 4th-year student at University of San Joseph. He specializes in sustainable power systems while actively driving clean energy initiatives as a student member of Green Leaders. His hands-on expertise luckily extended as a researcher on our MENA Alliance for Green Schools. And Khalid is simply a vital representation of the voice of tomorrow's green engineers. We're honored to have his fresh perspectives on youth leading environmental innovation. Now to the fun part. Let's start with Lan.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm really pleased to be sharing with you the latest findings of the study that was published recently, and I encourage all of you to check it out later. And it talks about the analysis of thermal comfort in a school's outdoor space, a case study of a typical school in Dubai, UAE. Next. So why should we talk about school spaces? Why do they matter? Well, because children spend most of their time in their school spaces. It accounts for approximately 180 days per year and around 40 hours per week, which is a lot. And these spaces do not only affect the learning of the children, but also affect their cognitive skills, their physical, emotional, and social well-being. And when it comes to outdoor spaces, these are very critical spaces that are often overlooked. Next. So what is going on if we want to consider children and outdoor spaces in general? So children are spending more time indoors, and this has happened mostly post-COVID. Children are exhibiting lower activity intensity levels. They're having higher rates of obesity, stress, and anxiety, and they're suffering from what is called nature deficit disorder because they're not really interacting a lot with their outdoor spaces. Next. Next slide, please. No, back. I think you skipped some. Back also. Yeah. So with that in mind, can you click it, Sarah, please? It's a video.
Oh, okay.
Just for, the emotional stage, setting that emotional feeling. So with that in mind, schools represent themselves, school outdoor spaces, as spaces in which children, regardless of where they live, they all have that equal exposure to the outdoor spaces. Next. But what is going on in these outdoor spaces when it comes to schools specifically? Now, outdoor spaces in general are very complicated to analyze because they're affected by several microclimatic conditions and things that we need to consider. There are limited leftover spaces that are overlooked. First, we start off with the massing of the different buildings, and sometimes whatever is left over are designated as outdoor spaces. They're mainly made of materials that have high heat retention and then heat emissivity, and they're suffering from what we call schoolyard heat island effect, which is similar to urban heat island effect, where sites of schools exhibit higher temperatures compared to their surrounding areas. Next. With that in mind, I mean, when I started dropping off my children every day to school and when I started my master's, I thought, these spaces need to be understood. They need to be analyzed. So I started to work on this case study, which was part of my thesis for my master's. And I picked the school in Dubai, which has 433 students, 3 main buildings as shown in the diagram on the right-hand side. So the main buildings were the ones color-coded brown, top left, a bit of a purplish blue, bottom left, and then the light blue L-shaped building in the bottom right area. The school comprised of these 3 main buildings where all of the students shared the outdoor spaces. When it came to the outdoor spaces, they comprised of a sandpit, color-coded yellow, the green turf artificial grass fields, which are color-coded green, as well as the shaded play areas, color-coded pink. Now, as you can see in this diagram, there were few trees, so not much vegetation going on in these spaces. Moving on. Next, Sarah, please. So to understand and analyze these spaces, I followed a mixed methodology approach with quantitative and qualitative data. It started off with, if you can go back to the slide before, Sarah, I think it's maybe missing one more forward. Yes, this one. So the methodology followed a design workshop, several design workshops with students. If you can stay on the methodology slides, please. Yes, please. So design workshops that happened in the art classrooms of children. They were children that received parental consent, of course, to take part in these workshops. There were 31 primary school children aged 7 to 11 who participated in these design workshops, which helped me understand the needs and wants and desires of school children and what do they want to see in their outdoor school spaces. So they were given colors, papers, and they just drew their heart out. Following these design workshops, they also took part in surveys. These surveys were designed based on literature review of other surveys given to children, considering a lot of visual, simple questions that will help them understand how they feel about their school spaces. Following that, after considering results from the design workshop as well as the survey, and what has been found from the literature review, simulations took place, specifically using an amazing software, in my opinion, that analyzes outdoor spaces, the NVMed software. And there are certain tools in NVMed software that helps you understand what's going on. And it measures several indicators in the outdoor spaces, considering surface temperatures, humidity, for example, indicators that have to do with thermal comfort and so on. Next, Sarah. So in the diagram that will come up soon, you will see that there are different spaces that were analyzed. Sarah, did you move the slide?
No, I can see it here.
Oh, okay.
Does it pop up now? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It seems there's a bit of lag between where you are and where
I
am. So anyways, again, focus was on children occupying building 1, but they all used these outdoor spaces. And as you can see, this is the diagram that was used in the design workshop where they were assigned different locations and they were freely choosing what is that space that they wish to change in their design, and they indicated as, for example, worst space, best space, and you can see that in the analysis in the paper later on. Moving on, Sarah. These were the drawings of the workshop. For me, I find them to be really lovely. And as you can see, there are different indicators there. So after the children chose which spaces they would want to improve, they went ahead and drew or write what changes they want to make. It ranged from we want taller slides to we want bigger play areas, we want benches in our green fields, we want shading, we want, for example, shelves to put our water bottles and so on. Next. And when it came to simulation, of course, we built the existing building with its existing conditions on the left-hand side. But then in the right-hand side, you can see the improved case, which had improvements based on findings from the literature review, the survey, and the workshop. We added added shading, trees, small water bodies, green roofs, green walls, and we changed the turf, the artificial grass, to natural grass. And all of that led to, if you move on to the next page, next slide, to improvements. And here I'm just showcasing improvements in the physiological equivalent temperature, PET, which is one of the most detailed indices available for us to understand the impact of the outdoor environment on how we feel, because it incorporates meteorological factors, so things that are going on around us, but as well as personal factors. And when we say PET, when we measure the outdoor using PET or considering PET, we need to understand that there is a certain range that is considered comfortable. And looking at the table of PET, it sets it to 23 degrees Celsius, but it could actually range from 18 to 27 degrees Celsius. Now, improvements that we've added for the building resulted in 5 to 25% enhancements in PET. So a greater indication of thermal comfort because of adding trees and shading and so on. And what also happened, as hopefully you can later on read, is that we moved and shifted that maximum temperature that was occurring in all of the different spaces. Also, that was reduced. So if in certain areas it reached 52 degrees, alhamdulillah, we brought it down to 49, for example, which is still good. And with that, I realized that we need to do more analysis. We need to understand our spaces. Sometimes simple measures can have great effects and impacts over our outdoor spaces, which really in the end leads to our children using more of these spaces while they're enjoying them. With that, I end my presentation. Moving on to the last slide. You'll see a QR code where you can read that research, and I hope you benefit from it and use it here and there. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lana. I'm sure everyone enjoyed this touch-on experience with the students. Thank you very much. And again, here's the QR code to read the full study. And moving on to Susan Fisher, who'll be discussing design principles for green spaces in schools. Please welcome Susan.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure if I'm able to manage the slides myself. Just requested access, but if not, then if you don't mind, Sarah, I'll ask you to.
Wait 1 second. I think I just need to give you control. Yeah. I think you have control now. Yeah.
Not sure. No, you might have to do it for me. Sorry.
Okay, sure. My pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks very much. And thank you for inviting me to be on this great talk today. I want to share with you just very briefly some of our design principles that we have used for our green spaces at ABA in our school. So if you could just show the next slide, that sort of shows the 3 themes that we have been keeping in mind as we designed some of our spaces. And those are that we want our spaces to be climate adapted, we want them to be resource efficient, and we want them to be curriculum aligned. So as we go through these, those are the 3 areas that we keep in mind. So if you could switch over to the next one. Yep, those are the 3. You can see our campus there, or a rendering of our campus if you aren't familiar with the Alba School. So if we could go to the first design principle that follows after, that is
There's just a little lag.
Okay. That is to design spaces and select plant species that support and extend our curriculum. And so we do that for our outdoor spaces as well as our indoor spaces so that we can make sure that all students and all members of staff can take advantage of those spaces, not just in a sense where, you know, it's a well-being sense, but also a curriculum sense where we can match up some of the curriculum content with some of our green spaces. And that includes things like, you know, maths and English, and having writing skills and having measuring skills that are matched to those spaces, as well as obviously things that are related, excuse me, to biology and plant growth. We also use those spaces for creative tasks, performances, anything that people might require. Similar to our indoor spaces there, we try to create areas where students can be indoors and still be in green spaces that they can use for their learning. So you'll see throughout the presentation, if we get there, we have some indoor spaces
I'm trying
that have been designed to make sure that students can also take advantage of these different things indoors. Yeah, if you want to keep going, then we get to our. So this is one of them here, one of our indoor spaces that students can use for all sorts of areas of learning. And then we get to our design principle number 2, which is to promote well-being and to nurture emotional connections with the natural world. So that's something that Lana mentioned earlier as well. It's a very, very important part for us at our school, is that we foster nature connectedness in our students and our staff. It's very difficult. I'm sure it's similar to where you are all in the world, that we are very restricted by the climate, and so we often struggle to put students and staff into places and spaces where they can connect with nature. And so for us, that has become a really, really big part of how we design our school, to make sure that no matter what season we're in, we can somehow connect with the natural world. And so the way that the outdoors are then designed is that there are areas where even when it's hot, we have shaded areas that students can go to, like this space here. Something that's really, really important for us is, because we're an all-inclusive school, this is a really good example of it. All of our areas are accessible to all students. We have wheelchair users in our school, and so we make sure that every area can be accessed by every student. And that also includes our planting spaces where we have raised beds. So we can make sure that everyone can take part in all of the activities that are part of our curriculum. The same obviously goes for the indoor spaces. Everything is designed in such a way that everyone can use it, everyone can take advantage of it, and everyone can connect with nature. This is a very good example here. We do have some rescued animals that have become part of our teaching staff, and they are really, really good ambassadors for students to overcome worries, for them to overcome certain fears with certain species. So reptiles for us are a really, really good example to connect with nature in a really lovely and meaningful way. And again, this is something that adds to the well-being, adds to the sensory engagement for our students as well. Then we move on to design principle number 3, which is to provide an ongoing opportunity for student-centric and participatory design and maintenance. So again, everything that we have now is designed with our students and with our students in mind. And so everything is very, very student-led. We have now moved away from purely producing produce in our farm to a more student-led approach, where the students can be in charge of the planting, the harvesting, the maintenance of our plants that we have. And that has become very successful in the type of engagement that we get, purely because now it's designed not just to look nice and to produce, but also to be accessed by all of our students. The same is true for our indoor setups that we have. Again, they are designed for the students to be able to maintain them where it's possible. We set them up so that they are simple things that can be looked after, that don't all require irrigation systems or certain lighting. So we want to make sure that our students are as involved as possible. So this is the outdoor example. And here we have an indoor space where you can see we have lots and lots of green, and our students are very much a part of designing those spaces. So when we do create arts and projects, we want to make sure that we incorporate that into our learning environment and our designs. And so everything that you see there that gets put on display has been designed by our students as well. And again, is always inspired by what we do, always inspired by nature, always connected with nature. Our fourth design principle that is a very important one to us is that we want to reflect local culture and context through our place-based design. And so for our outdoor areas, it's really important for us to have native species and native plants that also attract native pollinators and support native ecosystems. And so we work really closely with our Arabic and Islamic colleagues to make sure that we also include plants that are covered in the Quran, that our students come across in the Quran. We have an apiary, so we have our own bees, and that's something that obviously is very, very closely connected with the local culture. And for us, that is something we love to combine, and we love to see that something that comes from this culture and religion can be so hands-on and put into everyone's lives, regardless of their background. Equally for our indoor spaces, we that's actually something that is now becoming something, you know, we should have considered early on. We have an indoor green space that is a reflection garden. Now in hindsight, we should have probably made that more of an Islamic garden. And that's obviously something that can be altered over time because really what we would like to do is have more of an emphasis on the culture as well, and maybe include some of the lovely patterns and like mosaic tile designs that you find in mosques or elsewhere. Our fifth design principle is to select plant species based on their ecological relevance, and that goes back again to using local species, native species, to attract more native species. So this year in particular, we have seen a huge rise in our local pollinators and bird species that we attract to our campus, and that's because we have planted more native plants, more local plants that actually bloom when they should and support a large community of pollinators now. For our indoor plants, we obviously look a lot at, sorry, that's my dog. We look at things that are drought tolerant and don't need a lot of light. Although that's less relevant to the ecological side there. I'm just going to rush through the next two because I don't want to take up everyone else's time. The sixth one for us is also important because we prioritize sustainability in the selection of the materials and how we look after our plants. So we make sure that we have low carbon construction methods. We have irrigation systems that aren't wasteful. They are on a timer. Ideally, obviously, things that are electrical are run on solar power and don't require a lot of maintenance on our part. And so, again, if you select plants that are local, you don't have quite so many issues when it comes to watering because they don't require quite as much as other plants that we might bring from the outside. Same thing goes for our indoor plants that we have. We have a few watering systems, but we try as best as we can to make sure that obviously whatever we have doesn't require too much. Then our final one is design principle number 7. And that's obviously a very school health and safety related one, and that is to make sure that everything that we have in our green spaces is actually safe to have. And it's quite interesting because we've had many conversations with students about different types of plants and why we can and cannot have them. A really good example is the giant milkweed. We would love to have that at our school because it attracts monarch butterflies. They lay their eggs on it. We could watch the life cycle of a monarch butterfly, but unfortunately it's a toxic plant. But it's a really, really great learning point to make, to say, yes, we cannot have them in very well pruned areas. However, they serve a really, really important purpose in the local ecology here, and they do need to be around somewhere. Unfortunately, that can't be at school. So that was a bit of a rushed job through there because 10 minutes is obviously limiting, but I don't want to take up any more time. And obviously, if there are any questions, if we have time for that later, then I'd be very happy. to answer them.
Sarah, you're muted.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. I apologize for the lag with the slides. Really sorry for that. But it was very insightful and you did a very good job within the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we can move on to Tara, to Elizabeth, actually. 1 second.
Thank you so much. Is everything all right with the slides coming from Academy Addy?
Yes, I hope so.
Perfect.
Here we go.
I will hop right in. Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure to join from Academy Addy, a progressive school here in Qatar Foundation in Qatar. And I'm here to speak to you about progressive outdoor learning spaces and what we are doing within our school for cultivating a sustainable mindset. On there, you can see some of our bright and curious students who are holding our baby chicks. We have two areas where we, throughout the year, go through the growth cycle with our students. And it's always fun and curious to watch our students grow throughout the year, but also to watch the chicks grow and hatch and become a part of our learning community. And you can see on there, we're a proud Eco School member, and inshallah, we'll soon be vying for our first coveted green flag. Thank you. I'll go to the next slide. So thriving in the desert and sustainable learning, as many of you in education and know understand the challenges in the function and structure of sustainability and outdoor learning classrooms, you really have to have some key elements in your school to help make sure that these areas for outdoor learning are thriving. And as a previous presenter noted, not just a pass through, but how do these become lived and dynamic learning opportunities for our students? So some of the key elements that I'd highlight to you is the selection of the flora and fauna, ensuring that shading and prune and maintenance of your trees. We do like umbrellas, so our sidra trees and our bougainvilleas are actually, they make natural tents for us. And so really that thoughtful urban planning that can be done in the landscaping goes a long way to be able to support outdoor learning environments. We do use a lot of pallets, so upcycling, recycling, and using those resources is a powerful tool. Co-constructing those areas, as Suzanne was saying, it's very powerful, ensuring that the students are involved in the making of the flower beds, benches, and different learning pots. That really, again, brings it to life. We go even as far as, allowing the kids to make these little popsicle sticks and, put your name and really have that ownership over that space, I think is a really powerful tool for empowering them and getting them to see they are part and they are stewards in our outdoor learning areas. One of the top tips that I share with schools in Qatar is to make sure that you have a policy and communication channel with your nurse on temperature control. So my staff know you are allowed to be outside unless there is a communication email from our nurse that talks about temperature or air quality. So that takes the guests out of it for my staff. They don't have to wonder, do I go outside? Do I not go outside? They clearly know that unless an email is standing, they're expected to be both indoors, outdoors with our experiential learning. Thank you. Could I have the next slide, please? moving with that, rooting that progressive education and getting that, oh, bless his face, getting that curiosity and exploration in your learning community, really being able to connect the inside out. Scheduling as an operator of a school is highly important. For our school, as a progressive school, we have a flexible morning. And so we book in that time knowing that we really want to be able to utilize it for our botany room. I'll explain a little bit more on that and our work with Charles. But that time in the morning, knowing the temperature constraints that we have and the ebb and flow of our seasons, that's something that we pre-build into our scheduling at our school in order to ensure that it is not an afterthought, and to reduce our barriers for our teachers, to ensure that outdoor is a part of the everyday as long as we can. Although now we're getting to the end of June, we're getting very hot. That becomes a little more limiting, but unless that nurse in the air quality email is there, get out, explore, and connect with the nature. Can I have the next slide, please? Sustainability at the heart of everything you can do. You notice right down to the student there, we did Garango, and we did an amazing race Garango where I gave a challenge to the older students to organize a beloved Katsuri tradition of Garango, the mid of Ramadan, and the students were given a budget and they had to take the metro down to the souk. And I think that's one of the things that's special about our progressive school is we are very much about our playground, our community as an extension of our school, and we don't see the building as being the end or the sole focal point of where the learning lies. So our students went down using the metro. I have a policy at the school for sustainable travel. So first, all of our staff in our field trips must first look, is it tram-able? Is it metro-based, bus-based? And then we take a look at like a dedicated bus for travel, trying to again encourage those sustainable mindsets and practices. But in this picture, I just wanted to highlight even the wrapping of what the kids produced for Garango was the traditional fabric that they bought from the souk, and having them work with our Said. We have a Sudu weaving room for traditional crafting, and she was working with the students on being able to do sustainable packaging. So even in the work we're doing inside of the classroom, how can we continue those principles? The next slide, please. Now we get to our botany room. So you can see there kind of in the back, Charles. Charles is our full-time botanist. He is connected through Torba Market, which is a farm to table organic restaurant, farm, and marketplace here in Qatar. And we're very blessed to have a partnership with them, and Charles is full-time in. So when it comes to the teachers having not only a space, but you can see the glass windows all lead out into my micro farm. So the ability to have the extension of in and out of our building, the kids feel that chicken coop is, if you looked out those windows, you'd be able to see the chicken coop, you'd see the bug hotel. They never feel far from our micro garden and that connection. Charles's availability is throughout the day. So being able to small groups of students, classes, regardless of age and stage, they're able to go in and have access to explore. As I like to tell our parents, that if getting your hands in the dirt and your children's active exploration is not what you value in education, Academy Addy might not be the school for you, because we are very big about being hands-on, experiential learning, and sometimes even getting a little dirty. Next slide, please. So you can see there tending to our micro farm. We have planting, harvesting, cooking. We have a teaching kitchen. So the kids will collect the eggs, and then there will be practical uses where they will connect. They're growing mint, and they're harvesting lemons. We're going to make lemonade, or I think they made hibiscus tea the other week. So making sure that the items that the students are exploring in the botany room and in our micro garden are able to be authentically used, and that it's not a one-off experience, but rather that consistent exposure, and we're building on conceptual understanding, and again, cultivating that sustainable mindset is something that is a core principle for Academy Addie. Next slide, please.
There is just a lag.
Okay. So I can give you an example. You can see kind of in the back there, we have many planting beds. This area where the chickens is where I said the sidra trees and the bougainvillea is kind of gotten a natural tent that's grown over the last 5 years that we've had the school. We'll grow everything also to sweet potatoes. And the students just a few weeks ago harvested sweet potatoes, and we were doing International Day, and our KG group, age and stage of children, were actually harvesting with Charles a sweet potato, and then they took this and I believe it's called gamat. It's a cuttery sweet. It's the balls that are in honey. The kids actually took the sweet potatoes, and with their teacher, they made a cuttery Peruvian fusion dish that they actually served to the Peruvian embassy, showing the connection between the two. And that was really impactful, to be able to take what they're growing and not only say, okay, we're growing a dish that is native in also Peru, but also how do I take this and put the cuttery fusion with it. And I think that is an exciting, so you can see them exploring there. Can I get the next slide? Again, about that empowerment of student voice. So how do we have water conservation? We do have drips in our flower beds and composting. So again, that deep sense of responsibility, having the children separating out their waste, understanding, and having that hands-on science and botany room really does allow us to be able to make it deeper for their experiential learning. I'll click to the next. Sorry, I'm mindful of the time. I am trying to go as quick as possible, but share as much for the team to inquire and learn from. So speaking now about the planet and being able to share that sustainability and the work that we do in our outdoor classroom doesn't lie just physically in our building, but this is an example of an amazing summit. If you haven't had a chance to attend the EarthNA summits, they are truly inspirational, and you can see here that 2 of my students spoke out. And again, the opportunity for our students to share the stage, the advocacy, and the voice, and share their learning experience. This talk was in partnership with Harmony Project, EarthNA, and talking about holistic education and their experience in having a very experiential, sustainability-rooted learning environment. The Beehive experience, we ordered bee suits for students. We take them in small groups with the experts, and as you can see, the students are very involved in exploring the QF beehives. This is a short tram ride. It's about 3 minutes from our school. The kids hop on the tram and we're able to explore the pollinators. We are looking at putting 2 hives on our top terrace for next year, so the students can go through the complete process here at school. But again, our school, our mission is very much out in the community. So from planting, cooking in our teaching kitchen, the whole curriculum from math and English and science, how do we bring the learning in and out is a huge component of what we do in real life. Following every spark. We've had some amazing visitors. Deep Qatar does beach cleanups. Azam Almanai is a very famous Qatari photographer and does documentaries. We're actually taking a group of students whale sharking. And so we're taking them in to actually go and see, explore, and learn. And again, not limited to your grounds, but continue to push out, living our curriculum and making sure that our students are leading their inquiries. We are inquiry based. We want voice and empowerment and questions. And that is something that is very much about getting that spark and interest and seeing where we're able to take it. So for us, this ability to bring and be a part of the outside and have this rich connection to Qatar. We're very blessed with the ecosystem. If you're not familiar with Qatar Foundation and the ecosystem of Education City with its parks, its botanical gardens, its golf course, Al Shakab, we have a horse stable. There is a lot of natural areas in and around for us to explore. And I think that is one of the unique principles of where these pre-university schools have been located and how our environment has allowed for such a deep connection to the outdoor environment for Qatar. And I think I very quickly covered that.
Thank you.
Was that
Thank you
was
very
on
much,
pace
Elizabeth.
and quick? If anyone has any questions, and a heartfelt welcome to anyone who would like to come and visit. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I mean, we definitely need more time because the amount of amazing things everyone is doing needs that time. So with that, I know we have 10 minutes left so we are on time. Tara, the floor is yours. Let me know when you need me to move the slides and hopefully it won't be lagging so we can save a few seconds and minutes here and there.
Great, thank you so much. I'm going to try to make it as fast as possible. Hello, everyone. First of all, my name is Tara Haidar. I'm the Student Life and Alumni Coordinator at the International School of Shwaifat, Lebanon. We're a member of the SABIS network. I'm very glad to share with you guys how our school uses the outdoor spaces to support students' engagement, well-being, and learning. So I'll be going over a few points quickly. I'm just going to show you the outdoor spaces at the beginning at our school. Then we're going to discuss how the activities promote the well-being of the students, how the outdoor activities build the bridge for the students, and how the space itself shifts the behavior of the students and the barriers we're trying to navigate for outdoor usage, and what we've learned from our experience and what we're considering to do next. So first of all, can you please? Yes, exactly. If you'd like to directly move to the next slide, it would be good. Great. Can we move to the next slide? Yes. Okay, so first of all, our school was founded in 1886. We're located on a hill in Shwaifat, Lebanon. It's kind of a village. So we're fortunate enough to have a lot of greenery around us, which is great for us and for our students to be outdoors throughout the sessions where we can have them outdoors. We are a member of the SABIS network. So we're the mother school of the 50 plus schools around the world. And we have something called the Student Life Organization, where students lead everything regarding their daily life at school. Okay. Part of this is the social responsibility department. where we have the green initiatives that students do contribute a lot in. This is part of the greenery at our school and the shaded areas where we try to have the students in most of the times. All right, so let's go to the point where yes. Okay, so we believe that when we do the activities outdoors, it promotes the well-being of the student. Starting with the students going outside for PE, for lunch, for student life periods. Mainly, we have two parts of this. So we have the unstructured moments where students go outside for their lunchtime. They release energy, they take a break from the academics, and they socialize freely. These small routine outdoor breaks help students return to their classroom more focused and calm. So this is why we try as much as possible to have the students outside during their breaks. In addition to that, we have the structured outdoor activities, which include the sports clubs, definitely the PE sessions, where we try to have most of our PE sessions outdoors, and the student-led events and the clubs. So mainly the clubs are outdoors. We try not to have clubs in the classrooms during the breaks. The nature and the movement boosts the mood of the students. So even without large green gardens, just being exposed to the sunlight, to fresh air, and the idea that the students have and can have an open movement lowers the anxiety and improves the mood for the students. Okay, so lastly, the outdoor spaces like the shaded benches, trees, or open paths play a huge role in creating spots for informal socializing, offering places to rest or reflect, and supporting quieter personal moments like journaling or calming down for the students. So here, the well-being doesn't always require big playgrounds. Small design touches can create powerful emotional safety nets. So for the outdoor activities and building the bridge, the outdoor activities are already teaching moments for the students. So even when they're not labeled as lessons, outdoor activities teach students important life skills like collaborating during the student-led events, responsibility during environmental projects, creative problem solving during club activities or outdoor challenges like scavenger hunts, treasure hunts, and stuff like that. So learning doesn't just happen inside the classroom. Outdoor time naturally supports social, emotional, and leadership growth. The outdoor events offer authentic engagement. Events like our wellness weeks, our Earth Days, and sustainability campaigns, when held outdoors, feel more real and memorable to students. The environment amplifies the message and makes participation more meaningful. Students engage more deeply when learning happens in a space that reflects the values being taught. Okay. Lastly, for this point, it's a bridge towards the outdoor learning. These activities lay the foundation for more formal outdoor learning. So yeah, next point, please.
I have the slide on how spaces.
The next one.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, the next one. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So students respond to the environment. It makes them feel that, for example, the bench suggests a space for rest, reading, or quiet thought. A wide open court encourages physical activity and play. A hidden green corner feels safe, so for their conversations and for them to read a book. The layout of outdoor space guides students' choice and behavior. So you don't have to instruct them what to do. They can directly, it guides their behavior. All right. So over here, you can see the students, the planting club, for example, and the art alley. Just it's yeah, one slide. Yes, here, right there. Okay, so the well-planned spaces, you will have less behavioral issues as each group of students are doing something in the outdoor space, which they like doing, they enjoy doing. So it lowers the conflict by defining zones for different purposes, and it lowers the overcrowding by spreading students out naturally. And you will have unstructured chaos by guiding how spaces are used, like, as we said, like the planting over here, and the art activities. All right, next, please. Okay, so this, for example, is a mural done by students that encourages kindness. And we have different murals around the school, which do encourage some good acts for students. And definitely the signages that tell the students where are the quiet zones, where are the play zones and stuff. So the mood of the space is shaped visually. Students often follow cues they see around them. So no need to remind them. They look at it and they remember what the space is. So this, for example, is the seniors garden. It's a very simple area that was created for the seniors. It's a small detail with a tree providing a shade, a patch of grass instead of concrete. So we don't have to have a massive renovation to do so. Small intentional touches can significantly improve outdoor behavior and well-being for the students. Okay. For us, the barriers that we're navigating right now, that definitely no dedicated outdoor classroom zones yet. The weather unpredictability, since I know that in the Gulf it's the heat for you, but here we have also the a lot of we have the winter, and during the winter we have the rain, where this is a great challenge for us. And we need to have areas for students to differentiate between class time and other outdoor activities. Lack of technological stuff, especially that we use a lot of IWBs in the classroom. So this is not possible to have them outside. Yeah, what we've learned that students already want to be outside. A little structure equals a big behavioral shift. Well-being improves naturally with space, air, and nature. And simplicity does make a lot of change. Try to be and what we're considering next is mainly adding more outdoor clubs, signages that support play, and adding more seating area. I tried to be as fast as possible to just not take the
You
time.
did an amazing job.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So with that, we move on. I mean, I would really appreciate that you hang on for a few minutes. We'll just quickly share what we've been working on, and that let me pick it up. Yes, Khaled will tell us a bit about what we've been working on together and what he's been supporting us with as MENA Alliance. Khaled, the floor is all yours.
Yes, of course. I'm gonna present our green schools in MENA region. Next. In MENA region, the idea of green schools is gaining more attention. While not all schools are there yet, many counties are starting to take real steps. Um, According to the research, most counties must have now more than 800 schools involved in sustainability projects that show strong interest across the region. For example, the UAE plans to make 50% of schools green certified by the end of 2024. which is a very ambitious and inspiring goal. When the schools decide to go green, they usually focus on a few key areas, which is saving energy and using more efficient systems, reducing waste, improving air quality inside classrooms, and teaching sustainability in class. Many also look at saving water, working with the local community. So even if not every school is fully green yet, the movement is growing fast, and the foundation for a sustainable future are building. Next. To understand what's really happening with the green schools in the region, the MENA Alliance for Green Schools created a survey, and over 40 schools and experts responded. And the goal was to see how much sustainability is being taught or used in school, and who's helping to make it happen. The results showed a strong support for many ideas. So over 90% said there are organizations in their country are helping schools to become more green. Um, the statistics shows us that there is still some gaps to fill. And when we are asked if their country has a national plan for green schools, um, the numbers are mixed. So we need to work for a better sharing for the idea. No, we're still on the same. Okay. We still have many NGOs and international groups that are stepping in to help. Those include UNESCO, UNEP, and Foundation for Environmental Education, in addition to the NGO Green Leaders that I'm part of, as well as the Green Building Councils. Next. Before ending, I would like to invite everyone to take part in this study. You can scan this QR code to fill out the form, and it only takes few minutes, and your input will help us to collect a more accurate data and build a clearer picture of green schools in the region. Thank you.
That appreciate that you were super, super fast. And with that, just give it a few minutes for you to scan your QR code. We end our webinar. We thank you a lot for taking part and for staying beyond the time, 6 minutes. We appreciate that. This will be recorded and posted on our LinkedIn page of the MENA Alliance for Green Schools. Please follow us and amplify our voice. I hope that you've learned a lot from today. I personally did. It's amazing all the efforts that are going on in the MENA region. I think we do not have time for a Q&A, but please do reach out if you have anything to share with us. Thank you and have a lovely day. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.